Picking up from our previous episode, the Jafffa crew left Birdsville early afternoon and set off towards our first camp, only a few kilometers into the desert.
There goes Jilly up the dune, the second one after Big Red. It's actually got a name. I can't remember what it is. Do either of you boys remember?
Kim was having trouble on the next dune west of Big Red.
Good to go, Akeem?
Yeah, you're right.
Which is a big sucker, and Matt rode up to give her a hand.
And I'm up, baby. Come on, keep coming.
Alright, straighten your wheels, Kimby. Now they're straight. So you want to get into it a bit here, so we'll try first. In low, yeah, first gear, low range. Yep. Go. No. You need to come back. See if you can take off in second gear, low range. I need to give it a few herbs when you let the clutch out. Get into it. Get into it, clutch out. Okay, stop. Let me drive it up for you.
I'm coming up before Jill, mate, and I want to just get video of Jill coming up. All right, Jill, come on up, mate. Second gear at the bottom, and then pull first if you need to. Into it, Jill, into it. Nice drive, beautiful, beautiful. Top of the dunes cleared, boys. Come as you will.
Copy.
Yoo! That's a way beautiful, brother. Beautiful.
Call out every gear. It's probably best to
Messy, but you did it, mate. I got the camera rolling, brother. I want to see some action. Fall! Ow! You! That's what I'm talking about, boys. Yahoo! Freedom, baby, freedom! Beautiful. Thank you! Mate, probably in 20 minutes. Well, at least we're not going to go to bed sore.
Only 30 minutes or so into the desert proper, it was time to find a camp. We do not push it when we travel. We break camp by 8 or 9, and we start looking for the next camp around 2 p.m. This leaves us plenty of time to sit around and recount stories of the day over a few beers before having a shower and preparing our evening meal. The bikes were an excellent reconnaissance vehicle. They could scope potential camps much quicker and easier than the slower moving 4Bs. It was not long before we had identified a primo site, a dried clay pan, dead flat, with plenty of firewood at close hand. Decision made.
You got a copy, Akeem? Just on the other side of this dune, we'll guide you into camp, mate. Matty, I'm guiding Akeem to you, bud. When the guys take you to the campsite, just don't chew up the ground itself, so that we got a good place to sort of walk. Just stay to the side of the pans as well, boys. We don't know how wet they're in the center, but just follow Matty, Hakeem. Yeah, follow Matt on the bike. I'll bring the other two in. Okay. Good drive, hon. Well, we are sitting at our first camp in the middle of the Simo. We are not far in. It's probably 2 kilometers, 3, 4 max. We got ourselves a fire pile ready. Trucks are running, the showers are just about finished. Desert Virgins are just having a bit of a yarn and a couple of beers. Looks like Maddie and Kim have just finished their showers and rounding things up.
Nice and fresh now.
Nice. Jill's just got out of the shower and she's, I don't know what she's doing. She's walking into the bush, but without a dunny roll, so it can't be for a wee or a poo. She's hunting things. Time for cold beers and hang shit. Matt, come over here. I need somebody to hang shit on.
That's our Jono bush pile.
Was it empty?
My shadow.
Yeah, I got a whole tree. It's alright.
That's the way. Good job. Good job.
This is my favorite time of the day. We are all clean after our showers, we have a few beers in our bellies, and the flies have gone to bed as the sun slowly sets.
Where's the moon? There it is.
The colors come alive as a desert silence blankets our campsite. It's difficult to convey the serenity and the calm that envelops you, but it's unique to the Simpson Desert and really has to be experienced to gain an understanding and an appreciation of what I'm talking about. Just bliss. Morning, Jill.
Hello.
I'll take your chair over.
Oh, thank you very much. I'll bring your coffee when it's ready.
Awesome.
Camp is coming alive.
How was your sleep last night?
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Why only a 7?
I had to wee since about 2 a.m. and I didn't want to wake you up because I knew you had a big day today.
Fair enough. I had a 10 out of 10 Z.
Oh, good.
And it was warm last night, I felt. We didn't even have to turn on the electric blanket.
What's going on?
We didn't think it was cold, but everything's frozen.
Oh my God.
So we just moved our gear over to the fire.
Didn't feel that cold, did it?
No. My pants were frozen. The rest of it's all right.
Oh, it's all started to melt.
Defrosting, but my pants were covered in ice, so thaw it out, move it into the
Throw
sun.
it out. A little bit of ice, frozen socks.
Alrighty, first full day here in the Simpson Desert. Got the truck behind me, all loaded up, warming up. There's a Keen, ready to hit it. Everyone else is in the distance. Should be good. So fully loaded, all the Cody's stuff, his swag, our chairs. Ready to hit it.
Today was our first full day in the desert. For us guys on the bikes, it was all about getting our sand legs and locking into a flow. Soft sand riding is unique and it takes some time to get into the groove. For the girls, it was all about gaining confidence in their capabilities and increasing their familiarity with the trucks. For the Desert Virgins, it was all about exploring the desert and the excitement that comes with not knowing what is over that next sand dune. As it turned out, by the close of the day, we will have traveled a whopping 66 kilometers to our next camp. This is what it looks like zoomed out across our entire trip, the flags being our camps. Unfortunately, by the end of the day, one of us will have come off our bikes and sustained a potentially trip-ending injury.
Back on the bikes in the morning, we're just getting all the crew ready and we're gonna hit the trail. Bloody marvelous day. I'm right behind you, Maddie. Wait, I'm just using the force. I got you, buddy. I'm only about 5 meters behind you, getting some good roosts. So don't hit the picks. Woo! I'm gonna hang on your back corner, madam, about a meter behind you, just for the video. Yeah. Woo! What happened, Matthew?
Cruising along, Simpson Desert, first full day. All the trucks going good. 80 series at the front, the Keem with the shorty at the back of the convoy, Jill in the 200 behind us, and then Kim in the patrol behind her. Only seen one other party, I think 5 or 7 cars coming the other way, and they were really good on the radio. Dirt bikes are up ahead. Yep. Matt, Terry and Archie having a blast, aren't they? Okay.
They are. Here we have Jill in the 200, a bit soft. Kim in the patrol, good drive. Kim in the shorty.
Heading westbound, and we're going through some of these tributaries that feed into Eyre Creek. Got Maddie up on the right of me, Archie's up in front of me. Just starting off in the morning. It's beautiful, cool temperature, perfect for riding. Just having an absolute ball. We're like kids in a giant sandbox. And if you hear me talking a little bit and you don't hear any responses, or you're like, what the hell is, you're not making any sense talking to the camera, I'm actually talking to the boys because we've got intercom systems in our helmets. And I'll tell you, it is freaking brilliant.
Now here's a situation that exemplified the limitations of our helmet comms. The Cardo units can communicate 500 meters to a kilometer line of sight, but lose connection when a dune is between the riders. I was in front and encountered some traffic. Archie was at the back on the other side of the dune when I called out that there was oncoming traffic. He did not hear me, and this was the result.
Whoa! A bit late there. Back. All good. You okay, mate? Yeah. Hey there.
From that point forward, we changed our comms protocol such that when the lead rider called out traffic, all riders had to respond and acknowledge. If a rider did not respond, we assumed they did not get the message and held the cars back until we did get a response.
That was scary shit. Looking at a fucking bull bar. Nope. Nothing.
So far, we've been doing all right. I don't know what I was nervous about. This is absolutely so much fun.
On my first bike crossing back in 2011, I camped at this very spot with my parents and son Andrew, who were my support crew at the time. Our camp was located on an Eyre Creek just a kilometer south or downstream from the QAA line. The river was flowing at the time and we had an epic campsite.
Here we go. Woohoo! We made it! Yeah! It goes down on the river crossing. Oh, stall.
My mother cherished a small silver locket that she wore on a delicate chain around her neck. She won that locket in an essay competition back in 1954 when she was a young girl and lost it at this very location. It's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot, maybe even longer odds, but I look for it every time I go past this spot. Probably 5 or 6 times now.
Nice scenery.
Before we leave Eyre Creek, here's a little update from the boys on how the trip has fared so far.
How you feeling, boys?
Awesome.
mate.
Amazing.
Good.
Just a bit of lippy.
Yep,
Going out.
absolutely.
But no, that was a good session there.
It really was. The ground is so hard packed at the moment, the sand.
Yeah.
You know, you just squeeze the throttle on and the bike just bites.
Yeah. Exactly.
Excellent. So people ask us why we do this stuff. What's the answer, boys?
Because we can. We want to do it before we die.
100%, absolutely. And the guys on the big bikes that are doing solo crossings on their own, fully kitted out, they do it so hard.
Mate, tough.
2 of them back at the police station. One of them burned a clutch out.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't
Exactly.
get far in.
No,
Couple
whereas
days
we're
before we left, there was messages for burnt the clutch out, and so they managed to get back to the police station, and that's where they're staying.
That's it. And for us, we're just out here playing in this giant sandbox, and we've got support vehicles. So when we pull up, we have cold beers and hot showers.
What more do you want? A comfy bed.
In a comfy bed. Yeah.
Very
So
blessed with good friends and wives that support us.
100%, mate. We got to take our hat off to the girls. If we had a beer, we'd cheer them.
And another thing, you know, like none of us are getting any younger.
No.
So, you know, if it's my little bit to throw in there is do this stuff while you can, because one day you won't be able to.
100%, mate. And that could be tomorrow.
You never know. You never know what's happening for tomorrow, so live for today.
100%.
Definitely. Got that. It'll be bad if one of us has a chunder.
All right, just leaving Eyre Creek. Had a look for Mum's locket, couldn't find it. Sorry, Mum. Maybe next time. We did give it a crack. Running right up the guts of Eyre Creek at the moment. Almost up to the French line, or is it the QAA line, guys? QAA, yeah, there we go. As Matt said, a little bit of water in the creek. Just let us know when we're good to go, boys. Oh, so many tracks to choose from. Wiggly squiggly on the top of that one.
Tracks have been quite hard, not soft at all, which is good for me. I like it. A bit hard when you come over the top of the dunes, being short, cannot see a thing other than sky. Just got to point forward and hope for the best. The boys are long gone. They'll be having some fun. They're way, way, way ahead of us. So we'll just keep cruising over dune, over dune, over dune, and over more dunes. Great day. Might be crocodiles, they sneak in anyway.
It's all about as the shorty a little bit flexed up back there. Take a few photos.
The shorty a little bit crossed up on in the desert. Better.
There actually is a little bit of water down here if you guys wanted to pull over to the right of me and have a look. Hey Jacob, can you hear me?
What do you reckon we pull up there, helmets off and have a snack?
Sure. Hey Archman, I'm gonna hop over to the right-hand lane, matey. Matt's in the left. Copy that. Yeah, that was a pretty shitty place to stop up there. You couldn't really see. Just pick one that looks good when we get up there, eh? Fucking messy! Mate, I was all over the place. All good, bud. All good. I'm in your lane now, Matt. I'm in the left. Only bit of tiredness I got is just in the middle of my feet where they stand on the peg. But as far as arms go, mate, I'm real good. Yep, 100%, mate. The slower you are, the more bloody arm pump you get and the like, eh? Because the bikes flatten the terrain out. You're skipping on it. Looks like we're not the first on the bike up here.
Look at that.
Yo! Just pulled up at the top of a dune, getting recharged, having some bird seed and chocolate.
Bit of protein. About 10:45, day 2 in the desert. We've just come past the Q10 call sign marker. Back down the track a bit, pulled up.
How we feeling, boys?
Mate, awesome. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So good.
Might regret it tonight or by the end of it, but at the moment, absolutely amazing. Track heading off to the west. Just endless sand dunes. Plenty of greenery and the gidgeys in flowers, beautiful yellow flowers, and you can smell it. Absolutely beautiful.
Anybody got a speedo check or a total distance check?
Yep. We have done 37 kilometres since camp.
Cool.
So 87 kilometres since Birdsville.
Yep. We'd be averaging in the desert here
55
kilometers an hour. Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
On the flats we might wind it out to 70, 80.
Yep. We've had comms with the girls. They're all doing good.
They're traveling well, yep.
So we're ticking the boxes for everything so far.
We are.
These are the bindies that you encounter in the Simpson Desert. They are nasty.
For a bit of a size reference, there's a baby finger.
It's Tilly's finger, that's how big the bastards are. Don't walk around without shoes or boots.
I wouldn't like every dune to be like this down the backside. Definitely not. Party of 4, heading west, cresting dune.
Now, I'm not trying to pick on the young lad or be a jerk, but this is not how you call out your location to other travelers in the desert. There was no specificity in the call, so for other parties on the receiving end, they don't know if the Jafffa cars are 1 dune away or 10 kilometers away. It's best to use reference points. Heading west, 5 kilometers west of Eyre Creek, as an example.
Yeehaw!
Also, a recent addition to the Simpson Desert are call sign markers 5 kilometers apart from one another, which serve as a reference point for those that might not be carrying maps or know where they are in relation to tracks or other desert waypoints. Using these call points, if you can read a sign, you know where you are, and others will too. Nice addition, National Parks. By the end of the day, our desert virgins had location calling down to an art.
Wonder if that next dune's one you want to stop at the top of, Jacob, and do filming of us or anything.
Come on, Kimby. Wow, there's moles.
It's a beautiful day and having a great time.
So this is how our routine in the desert roughly went. We'd break camp around 9 a.m. together, and the bikes would shoot off in front. The bikes would average around 60 kilometers an hour, the cars around 20. We'd ride the bikes until 11-ish, then we'd circle back and we'd meet up with the support crew for lunch. If the bikes needed a splash of fuel, we'd give them a drink before splitting up for the afternoon session. By 2 p.m., the bikes would begin looking for and ultimately finding a camp. By the time the support crew caught up to the bikes, it'd be around 3 p.m. and we'd set up camp and settle in for the afternoon. In terms of safety and riding in the desert, particularly with oncoming traffic, we had a couple of management strategies. Firstly, we had a UHF on board and running constantly. If we heard radio chatter, we knew we could be getting close to traffic and kept a close eye out. Secondly, when you crest a dune and you are standing on the pegs, your eye line is higher than that of the roof of a four-wheel drive. That means you get an awesome line of sight well before any oncoming traffic could see you. Thirdly, the point bike crested the dunes reasonably slowly and cautiously. If the coast was clear, he would inform the other riders behind him through the helmet comms, and they could blast over the crest in safety. The reason the incident you saw earlier occurred is that we thought the tail rider heard us call out traffic and assumed he was stationary and waved the cars forward. We closed that little loophole and never made that mistake again.
Give us a rundown of what's been happening today.
It's our first full day in the Simpson Desert. Stopped for a bite of lunch at the sign of the Simpson Desert, so we're officially entering the national park.
Yeah. How are the flies?
Not that bad.
No, they aren't, are they?
No, really good.
No, they aren't. I've been bitten by those midgy ones. How are you finding it?
It's awesome.
Good.
It's good.
Good. You want to give it a drive?
Couple of days time.
Okay. Sounds good.
Couple of days. I'll give it to them.
What's your favorite kind of dune? Like the really steep ones? Or?
Yeah, the steep ones are the best.
Yeah.
You never know. Like you can go up a giant steep dune and come over the other side, and it's like 2 feet drop.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
I like the ones with the S.
Yeah.
they're cool.
Yeah, I like the S ones too, and I like the ones with exposed sand on the top.
Yeah.
And an S with exposed sand. There's some laughing going on. They're trying to refuel their bikes.
Yeah, I just need a little splash.
Yeah, right. Get the other
That'll be
drum
a full
ready.
tank.
Yep, this bike's a bit of a pig.
It ain't the bike.
I'm waiting for that, Matt.
The man never blames his machine. Got our Bowser filling up, peeling a bit of weight out of the back of the patrol.
Using our new jerry can holder that we manufactured.
The Jafffa can holder. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look out.
Kim, you just walked through it.
We're going the other way.
Kim, that was your first desert driving adventure?
Good. Not nervous anymore.
No,
Shit
good.
myself yesterday. I'm all good today.
Yeah, no, you're doing awesome. Go the girls. Go the girls.
You, the girl.
After only another hour or two of driving after lunch, the bikes had found a camp a short distance off the QAA line. It was time to settle in for the afternoon.
Right in front of me here, just outside our camp, is what Scott Green would call a camel nest. That's where a camel has laid down. You can see his hind legs back here and his front legs at the front. It's almost like a turtle. It's extremely cool. There's how big my foot is. So Scott Green's one of our friends who came with us on a trip, and he's like, oh, look here, it's a camel nest. So we've called it that ever since. The flies are a bit bad right now. We've been gathering firewood. Here's a little one from a young one, and there's the bigger one over there. But there's older ones as well. You can see them all around. They must like to lay where they can see and feel safe. They don't tuck in up against a tree or anything. They are very exposed, but maybe they feel like they can see and hear. I'm not sure. Pretty sky, sitting around the campfire in the desert. One of our favorite things.